Hello, my friends. It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and today we're going to do some testing to figure out the final thoughts on this MAGNACUT. We've got to get this closed, figured out, because it's driving me nuts. If you haven't been following along, this is my second MAGNACUT knife from BGM Knives. The first one was a dud. The second one was also a dud. However, this second one I put on a 120 grit ceramic stone the other day and sharpened it and removed a lot of material and started with a fresh edge, and so far it seems to be holding up, but I haven't really put it through any testing tasks, so we're going to do that right now and basically see if it survives or not, because we have literally been like on a roller coaster ride with this MAGNACUT, and I'm talking about literally the MAGNACUT from BGM Knives. I have not used anything else other than BGM Knives MAGNACUT, so I have so many videos on it. Go watch before you make any judgments. So we have a fresh edge. We did 9 sharpenings. The final 9th sharpening was with a 120 grit ceramic stone. We removed a lot of material. It feels different. Let's see if it performs different, and hopefully it is better than everything else we have done. It was failing me at work. I was only cutting produce basically, and it would go dull pretty quickly. So what I did was bring home a bunch of goat food for the goats from work, and we are going to mimic what I would have been doing at work that was making this knife go dull. The only difference is I was using a plastic cutting board at work, and I'm going to be cutting on the porch here, which is wood, but I mean it's not really that hard of wood, and if it's going to dent or anything on a wood porch, then there's my answer. So let's lower you guys down. I can't do it on the plastic table either because it shakes, so we're just doing this so that you guys aren't all over the place. So we are going to start cutting. Oh, and I gotta show you guys the edge beforehand first. Sorry. So without cutting anything yet, sorry, it is always windy and cold here. Alright, so sharp, right? Nice and sharp. Clean edge. Nice and clean. Very, very sharp. And no, it is not a wire edge. It is literally the actual edge that is cutting the paper. That's why it's so clean and crisp. Okay? Okay, let's get to cutting. And I'm purposely going to avoid the screws here and everything. Like, we are going to make this as fair of a test as humanly possible. You guys cannot even see what is happening here, can you? Okay. There we go. And I have to cut up the goat food because they're picky, and they don't like it if it's too big of chunks. So I'm just going to chop it all up here. But this is literally essentially what I was doing at work, where the knife would go dull after like 10 minutes of use on a plastic cutting board. So it just could not hold an edge, and I was needing to sharpen it over and over and over again at work to get it to get me through the day until I could get home and basically grab something else to use for the rest of the day. But hopefully with this new edge it'll work better. I'm really hoping. I want to like MAGNACUT. I have just not had any good experiences with it as of yet. But yeah, anyway, we're going to be doing this for a few minutes, so how was you guys' day? What have you been up to? If you worked today, how was work? If you didn't work today, how was your day off? What are your plans for the weekend? Let me know down in the comments. I can't respond to everything, but I do read all the comments for the first 24 hours, at least, while the video's up. After 24 hours, I can't look at them anymore because there are too many. I give myself 24 hours to look at the comments and respond, and then after that, it's no man's land, essentially. And I won't be looking at it, and I won't be answering, because if I were to look at everything for eternity, I'd be on my phone 24/7. So I gave myself a rule that for the first 24 hours that a video is up that I've created, I will look at the comments, interact as needed, and then after 24 hours, you guys can just watch and you're not going to hear shit from me. Because I am not going to live on my phone, and I also just threw all those chunks of pear not in the pot. That's what happens when you work, like, 12 days straight every single day, no days off, and you're up at like 4:30 every single morning, you start to go crazy. But luckily, tomorrow is my last day of this stretch, if everything goes according to plan. But, see, let's talk about something. So, I went to Ohio, and I took 3 days off of work for that, basically. I did not have to make up those 3 days at all. Like, I don't. My workplace wouldn't make me. And financially, I do need it, so I'm making them up. But I could probably weasel my way out of it, but I didn't, and I made up my 3 days and worked. So tomorrow will be day 13 in a row. No days off, no nothing. And like, where did that work ethic go, guys? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, do I have to do this? No. But I want to because I took 3 days off of fucking work, and I'm gonna make up my 3 days of fucking work. Like, end of story. But man, there is no work ethic anymore. It's like everyone looked at me like I was crazy when I wanted to just make up the days because morally it would make me feel better if I can say that I've really never taken a day off without making it up in some way or another. But that's just gone from society, man. Like, nobody wants to work. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. So, yeah, tomorrow will be day 13, and then I will finally get a day off. And I've made up all my days that I took off for the Ohio trip, which felt really good. I will say, in terms of using this knife right now, it's feeling great. Like, it's feeling like it is not losing its edge yet. And by now, with the old edges, it definitely, I would have been feeling it. So, hopefully this is a good sign. I'm really hoping. Yeah, I had, the lowest grit that I had used prior to the 120 was 325. Now, for every steel I've ever, like, sharpened, really, 325 moved the steel enough. It cut enough, it did enough. So, I guess that's why I just kept going to the 325 to try and remove more material, because it's just, like, 325 is pretty gritty. Like, a 325 grit diamond stone, that's pretty gritty, so I guess I just kept going to that because it was the coarsest stone I had, and also I just felt that, like, it should be doing the job, but if it didn't and it needed a 120, that's pretty crazy. Because the 120 stone that I have is, like, literal sandpaper. It is so rough, and it's fantastic because it really moves that steel quickly. But that would be wild if this needed that coarse of a stone to really get down to that good steel. That'd be wild. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna cut up one more beat for them, and then I think we're gonna check our edge and see how she did, because it's feeling good, but we will see if she still cuts the magazine paper. I'm really hoping that this worked here, because I am so tired of talking about MAGNACUT, it's not even funny. Especially because some of the comments are just hysterical. There was a comment I read the other day where a person literally wrote an essay, I would say. It was like 3 or 4 paragraphs about the progression I needed to do to get this to work. And it's like, do you spend your life sharpening knives? Because, like, the progression that you are telling me to do would literally take me, like, 3 hours and, like, $2,000 to get those materials. Like, I'm poor. Are you nuts? I am not going to do that. Like, I'm a normal person, and the knife either works or it doesn't. Like, I will put effort into trying to get it to work, but I'm not putting $2,000 and I'm not going to spend 3 hours. Like, it literally works within 45 minutes of me using decent stones, or it doesn't. Like, end of story. So that was hilarious. Okay. Wipe her off on the good old pants that have never been washed ever in 3 years. Which, by the way, okay, so this is something that I thought of the other day that's going to be hilarious. So, we are at 3.4K subscribers. When I get to 4,000 subscribers, I'm going to record putting my pants in a bathtub of hot water and laundry detergent, and I'm going to wash them for the first time ever. They've never been washed in 3 years, and I'm going to record washing them for the first time ever if I get to 4,000 subscribers. Because the amount of dirt and disgusting shit that's going to come off of these is going to be so funny. Like, I need to get it on camera, but I'm not doing it until we get to 4K. So that'll be funny. Let's see, guys, if it worked. We have a little bit of beet juice, but hopefully that won't disrupt anything here. Okay. Fingers crossed. Like, I'm literally scared. We're learning together here. Okay. Seems like we may have one little hang up, which we didn't have before. Oh no. I'm a little sus about this. Hold on, let me grab another piece of paper. Let's see. We got some stuff here. We got some junk mail here. Alright, let's try very carefully. Okay. That looks promising. I just want to make sure I have no hang-ups. From the very beginning to the very end. Because I do know that sometimes I hit that choil and I don't even realize it. It's so big. I don't even realize when I go to do a paper cut test, and then it like fucks everything up. I feel like it definitely has a hang-up that it did not have before. I can feel a few, which, in my opinion, should not have happened. Like, it's literally wood. However, in general, the edge retention is much better than it was. Interesting. Now, see, with the other MAGNACUT knife I had, with the original one I had, it was the opposite. The impact resistance, the way it took impact, it did better than this. This is, sorry, you guys are like a little wonky here. That's interesting. So the first one that I had was at a lower heat treat. It was 61.5 to 62.5. This one is at 62 to 63. And it seems like the toughness on the first one was maybe better. But the edge retention on this one is better than the other one, maybe. This is so weird. It's a weird steel, guys. I genuinely don't quite understand it yet, and I really think I need to use something from a different maker, because something is very interesting about this. It's doing well. It's doing much better than it was before. Yeah, so like this does have an edge. It is going through. We have like maybe one micro hang up somewhere in this area. One little tiny something that it occasionally is getting caught up on. But aside from that, that is much better than it was before. So I'm going to say that that's a win. It's just a weird steel. Let's try the newspaper. See, this is like a real test, because it's just so freaking thin. This is like tricky. Yeah, so we've definitely got one little something somewhere. But aside from that, Not bad. Okay. So I wonder if we figured it out. So what I'm thinking is every time that I used the 325 grit, it must have been moving the steel but not removing it. So the 325 diamond stone that I had used the first like 8 fucking times must have been hard enough to basically straighten the teeth back out, but it was not removing any metal. It was not removing that burnt edge. It was just moving it around and realigning it so it could cut again for a little bit, but it wasn't actually taking away that burnt, fatigued, messed up steel. So when I used the 120 grit the other night, it must have been coarse enough to not only move that steel, but actually remove the fatigued material, which I saw. It made a slurry of metal that I was literally it was removing it from the blade, from the edge. It's just weird because John doesn't burn his edges. I've watched him make knives. He doesn't burn the edges. So I don't know. That's very interesting. Something was wrong. Something was wrong with that edge that I got, and it had to be completely redone. Now I'm curious, so with my old MAGNACUT knife, I ended up batoning with it, and it did fantastic because, like I said, it had really good impact resistance. I wonder how this would fare batoning. It's so thin, so like it doesn't look like it, but the edge is so freaking thin on this, like it's full flat ground. I told him to go as thin as he could. I wonder how it would do batoning. Should we do that? I think we should. Okay, let's do an impromptu baton listen, if I can even say it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do the same exact thing, if I can get the materials quickly enough. I'm gonna do the same exact thing that I did with the first MAGNACUT knife, which was I grabbed some of this really hard kiln dried, yikes, I can't talk, firewood, and I batoned through it, and the first MAGNACUT knife did fantastic and still sliced paper after. So I think we're going to do that again. Just trying to figure out what to use here to smash the blade through. If you are sensitive about batoning, I would suggest that you stop watching here because we're about to possibly ruin the knife, or maybe not. I just need to... Dear God. I really need to get the stick. Okay. This is going to be a long-ass video. Like, I see what I want. It's down in this pile of shit. It's what happens when you're getting ready to move. Things are just all over the place and you look like a pig. Okay. I have literally everything I used for the first time that I batoned. So let's do this. Let's see what happens. This will kind of be the ultimate test here. If it can go through this without getting completely fucked up, I'll say that we have a win. Okay. This is the same piece of wood I used too. It's so funny. Alright. This isn't really meant for this, and if it gets fucked up, I know that's on me. Thank you, Jeebus. So we'll do a couple of these. And this is like extremely hard wood. They purposely kiln dry it so it like lights to shit in your little bonfire thing. Oh man, I'm nervy. I'm nervy. This is so thin. I will say the other knife that I used in MAGNACUT was like so much more sturdy and beefy, so like if this does fuck up, John, I'm so sorry I'm doing this, like, knowing that I'm a piece of shit. We'll do one more and then test the edge. Oh. Can we do it? It's just such a small knife, it's like difficult, but it is doing it. Alright. Let's check the edge. Go back to my first station with my paper. Okay. Clean her off. A good old pant leg. Let's see. Let's see if I feel anything. I don't necessarily feel anything different compared to the first time. If this came out unscathed, that's gonna be impressive. Alright. Wish me luck, guys. Oh my god, come on. That was like 100% me being stupid. Let's try this again. That one hang up from before, right in this general area. We had that before though. No fucking shit. Wow. So what? Now you're a winner? Now you're a big boy, huh? Okay. No way. Like, definitely a couple hang-ups, but for being that thin and being smashed through that wood, that's impressive. I'll give it that. That's impressive. No fucking shit. Okay, you can stay, I guess. So, I think we have our answer. I think with maybe specific makers, if they possibly burn the edge, you have to use an extremely coarse stone to remove that edge. Even if you're able to technically sharpen the edge with like a 325 or higher, if you're able to realign the teeth with a 325 or higher, that does not mean it's going to work well. You have to actually go down to like a 120, remove the edge completely, even if it seems fine, remove it completely and restart all over again with your own edge if it's fatigued. Huh. I'll be honest, I've never had to do that. I've never had to, like, completely go down to 120 grit and re-establish a brand new edge. I've never had to do that. I've only ever used 325. Wow. Okay. I guess we have our answer, guys. So, it's tough as shit. It's tough as shit if you have a fresh edge. Hell yeah. Okay, well, guys, I think that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go feed the goats and maybe have a tiny celebration because we might have a winner here. Go use your shit, guys. Go push your knives. Go use them. I will see you guys on the next video. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.